Heart of Ice.
More like fart of ice. Live from Cool Boys Central.
You're the boss down there. I'm boss up here.
From bat tips to bat nips, we are just three cool boys revisiting Batman, the animated series, and wearing hats. This is Batman and Beyond, a Cool Boys podcast.
I see Batman and Beyond.
Greetings, Cool Boy Bat Nation, and welcome to another installment of Batman and Beyond, a Cool Boys podcast. I'm Felk.
I'm Ballard.
And I'm Steve.
So cool.
Tonight's episode is Heart of Ice, directed by Bruce Timm and written by Paul Dini. Oh shit, the big guns.
Yeah, so this is Bruce Timm's first directed episode, huh?
Yep, that was my note.
This episode aired September 7th, 1992, and features
September 11th?
September 7th, 1992, and features the first appearance of Mr. Freeze and Ferris Boyle. But if it had aired on September 11th, like that was just a day back then in 1992.
It also shows, folks, just real quickly, I want to point out Summer Gleason with her foxy boxy.
Not the first appearance of her.
No, but you know what? She can chill me to my boner any day.
Wikipedia says, bitter scientist Victor Freeze, as Mr. Freeze, attacks several divisions of GothCorp, each time stealing a piece for a secret weapon he intends to build. Batman investigates the connections and discovers that the start of Freeze's vendetta against GothCorp was a bitter falling out between Freeze and GothCorp's CEO, Ferris Boyle, voiced by Mark Hamill, during which Boyle almost kills Freeze, mutating him into Freeze, Mr. Freeze, spelled differently, and presumably killed Freeze's terminally ill wife, Nora. Batman must find a way to bring Boyle to justice before Freeze carries out his revenge. Note, this episode won the series' 1993 Daytime Emmy Award for Outstanding Writing in an Animated Program.
Wow.
Which means, I thought this one won the first Emmy for the show, not Robin's Reckoning.
What are you talking about? I don't recall saying anything during this episode right now about Robin's Reckoning winning an award or anything. That's weird. That's like a weird random thing to say. What a non sequitur.
If you listen to this chronologically on our feed, this episode will come out right after an episode in which you tell me that I'm wrong for saying Heart of Ice was the first episode to win an Emmy for the show. And that
we talked about that during I've Got Batman in My Basement?
The last episode, or 2 episodes ago, of the Cool Boys podcast.
You don't know where you are, Felk. You are lost.
Episode 65, I think. Top 5 90s cartoons.
You know, where you mentioned about Mark Hamill voicing Ferris Boyle. I guess that was his first ever voice for the Batman animated series.
Yeah, because Tim Curry was originally doing Joker. And
he wasn't originally going to do the Joker, but then Tim Curry bowed out.
Yeah, his voice hurt too much.
They asked Hamill to do it, and he was happy to.
Huh.
So this was Mark Hamill's first role in the series before he eventually took over the role of Joker? Like, just to be clear, like this was actually his first.
That's what I just said.
This is what he was hired to do.
He was just hired for one role for this role.
Wow, I knew he took over because he was doing voice work for the show, and he took over for Tim Curry, who had done some recordings already for episodes, but I didn't know that he actually was hired for this particular character. That's cool.
He needed work.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, back then, he was like, no one gave a shit about Luke Skywalker.
No, who would hire Mark Hamill at that time?
Yeah.
I have a note also that basically, because of this episode, Mr. Freeze, Mr. Freeze became a really popular character. And they basically, in the comic book...
They retconned the comics for him.
Yeah, they kind of retconned the comics to be more like what happened to him in this, because he wasn't really popular in the comics, and so they just kind of redid him.
Yeah, he also wasn't like a big character in the old 60s TV show either. Like, he was a character, he's a villain, but he wasn't like a really popular one.
So they really, this once again, this show, pushing that influence on the rest of the whole universe of DC, I guess.
I like how this episode like really jumps in it, and we're right in the middle of a smash and grab heist. Mm-hmm. And he's just using ice right off the bat as this weapon, as a tool. It's so fucking cool, and it's so devastating.
It starts off with this sort of sad monologue, so it's an interesting way to start off the show, introducing the villain, because he's already like a sad person. It's not someone where you can kind of sympathize with. He's starting off kind of obsessed about whatever, his wife or this person that seems that he lost.
Yeah, very cinematic. Yeah.
It's like, it's just so crazy to see this episode right after I've got Batman in a basement, and just how different.
Penguin.
And in this 22 minutes, they could have they needed more time to do more, and that last episode is just like stretching time, basically.
Yeah, like literally the entire second act of I've got Batman in my basement is just Batman passed out on a couch in a basement. Mm-hmm. And it's really fucking like just like we're gonna have these two little boys do whatever, and this one is just this is what Batman and Robin should have been, and unfortunately Batman and Robin went the way of trying to do a 1960s Batman episode movie.
I liked how Mr. Freeze says I think a Klingon proverb. I don't know if it's really a Klingon proverb or it's from something else, but revenge is a dish best served cold. Is that originate from Star Trek?
No, it's an actual Russian proverb, but they just call it a Klingon proverb in an episode of the original series, and then it's called back to that in Wrath of Khan.
Oh, guys, so we're in the second act already of the episode, and we're in the Batcave, and look at that. Back to tank, anyone?
Yeah, it is, but like warm water would melt ice on your legs really fast, and yet this has to takes like a long time and uses some like absurd like turbine with a Tesla coil connected to it.
Yeah, like Max Fleischer-esque Superman style of like equipment.
This is definitely a reference though to Star Wars. I felt right when I saw it. I thought it was a good little, and I think again when Batman's trapped and he's hanging upside down in the ice cave, it seems like another sort of throwback to Empire.
Oh yeah, I guess. I mean, only in the sense that he's upside down in an ice cave. Because I mean, like none of the scene plays out like Wampa and Luke Skywalker.
Just a little setup.
He cuts off Mr. Freeze's arm, and Mr. Freeze just stands there. And then fucking, and then Batman just stumbles out of the ice cave and then goes and passes out 200 yards away.
Ben.
It seems like they're setting
Daddy?
up.
Daddy? Yeah, exactly. Daddy.
That
go to the Central City system. Central City system. There you will find a man named the Flash.
He goes, but are we in the second act where Bruce is doing his investigating on his own? Where he meets the CEO of Goth Corp.
That's right, too. We're going to the Dagobah system. I'm sure it's perfectly safe for droids.
Yeah, it isn't.
It isn't. Everything wants to fucking eat them.
Mm-hmm. And then spit them out.
Yeah.
Well, I like how Batman constantly like kind of trades. He becomes Bruce to be a detective still, so he goes out there to talk to the CEO of Goth Corp, and then they show how basically all these other CEOs.
You know what? You think like some CEOs after a while be like, "Hey, did you ever notice that like after Bruce Wayne comes by, like Batman comes and visits?" Yeah, I have noticed that. It's a little weird.
I like how Ferris Boyle calls his workers wage slaves. That was a good.
He knows what's up.
Quote.
He knows what's up. That's all I gotta say.
Bruce throws him some shade. He's like, "You make me sick." "Oh, I'm sorry. I just meant I feel sick." Yeah.
I think I'm gonna be sick, I think is what he said, right?
Mm-hmm. And, they set up the whole chicken soup. I thought that was, this episode has a throwback joke. That's just, some good classic writing. It's why it's won its Emmy.
Yeah, I think that, but also definitely because of Mr. Freeze's speeches.
Oh, yeah, no, I just think that it was, they had some humor in this one that was not just childish humor.
I cannot recall, how many layers have we seen so far? We've seen Joker's lair, right? We seen Poison Ivy, I guess, had a layer even though it was destroyed. But this is Mr. Freeze. Is this like our third layer?
We saw Two-Face's lair.
Who?
Two-Face.
I guess.
Yeah, he's the casino.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same as if the Joker had a lair. Yeah, it's like always an abandoned something.
It's like a city of chance or whatever it is.
It takes two, baby, or something. Yeah. Well, here's the chicken soup.
What does Alfred say?
Suck a dick.
It's the only thing that could fight a cold.
Oh, look at this. Here we go. We have Batman in one of his many disguises. This time, it's a blonde security guard.
He has a disguise over his costume. So where's his cape? Like, what's going on here? Because they show him open up his shirt and he's wearing his utility belt and costume right here.
Steve, You don't understand. He packs a cape like he packs a fucking, like a parachute. He's really good at it.
So if you see behind him, there's this big lump. He's just like,
it's a hunchback. Yeah. Oh, don't mind my hunch.
They establish what he does with his cape in Dark Knight Rises, or The Dark Knight. It's just like a little backpack thing.
My hump.
Yeah, it's a little hump, a little backpack hump. I mean, Ballard, that was designed. The backpack and the cape thing that he uses in China in The Dark Knight was originally
in Hong Kong.
Yeah, how they were going to have it like retract into that when he got on the bat pod, but then the stuntman had to try it with the cape on, and it looks really cool. So they just kept the cape, but they used the little backpack for the part where he goes diving.
I did not know that
because the cape was really dangerous for the stuntman.
But it looked good, so you got to do it.
Yeah, it looks great.
I did not know they were gonna. That's smart. I mean, that would be the intelligent move. Like, yeah, let's suck this thing up into a little backpack instead of having this dangerous, sheet blowing behind me that can get caught in the fucking wheel.
They thought it would go all over the place, but it was so
once again, though, Mr. Freeze gets the jump on Batman. Batman basically, I think in every episode, gets caught by somebody.
Wait, you're jumping way too far ahead because I got something to say here.
Oh, am I? Sorry.
Yeah. So we have security footage right now that's playing.
Multiple angles.
That has got multiple angles. It's got edits. It's got edits, interstitial cuts with the fucking static. It's got close-ups. It's got great shots.
Oh, it's funny.
This is the best origin we've probably ever seen on security camera footage ever.
I know. I mean, it's a kid's show. I don't think that they're thinking about that, I guess. But
and this is a violent origin, though, Steve, right?
Oh, it's dark.
I mean, look at this guy. I mean, Felk. What happened exactly in Batman and Robin?
He just fell into the vat.
And then he just comes out crying, right?
Yeah, he just acts something sparks on his computer. He falls over a railing into a vat of cold goo, then comes out of it going like that. And while watching the security footage that has close-ups and is clearly shot on 35 millimeter film, but was repurposed into security footage. And then Batman said he survives somehow. Clooney does. And that's the only explanation we get.
Yeah, and then we just had this one on also incredible security footage. But this one is Boyle kicking a Victor hardcore into chemicals that explode, combust ice, I guess, and he's just covered in chemicals burning his skin with how cold they are. Very, very crazy, very violent for a kid show.
One of the things it seemed like in this episode, they love the snow effect that they came up with. It was the title card was just the snow, and every every time they're out in the cold, they just have this snow overlaid everywhere. It seemed like they really thought it was good.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yes. The artwork in this this ice cave is incredible. But did you guys realize that after that origin, when Batman was watching the security camera footage, he went, "My God, this is a kid's show," and he just went, "My God," at the end of that origin.
What's the big deal of saying "My God"?
God in general, especially in the 90s, airing on Fox in general was a big deal.
I think they say it a lot throughout there's a meme or one of those supercuts.
He says God no quite a few times actually.
I think they say "My God" a lot throughout the whole DC animated universe. It's like a joke.
How many times?
I don't have it, but I'm pretty sure there's a supercut of it of animated people. You want to go on YouTube and find it?
Yeah, and then count.
What's going on here?
Oh, it looks like Batman's escaping like Luke Skywalker did, right, Steve?
Well, fuck you.
Out of this ice cave.
I'm just saying it seemed like a reference, the way they set it up.
Well, maybe so, considering that that definitely seemed like a back to tank. I mean, at least to me.
I think that was a Star Wars. I think they were throwing in just little winks.
I mean, this is just so stupid right here with the valet, but
it's a funny joke.
I just love this villain. I
thought it was a funny joke.
The way they do the valet with keys please, to Mr. Freeze who pulls up to this party is just so dumb. But I really think Mr. Freeze in general is an incredible character who plays really well in this episode, and I would love to see a live action version of Mr. Freeze like this. Like, this would be awesome to see on screen.
Oh yeah, much better than
Arnold. I mean, Arnold's great. Arnold's great for that type of Mr. Freeze. I just want to see this type of Mr. Freeze on screen in live action.
There is a list of utterances of "my God" or "oh my God" and "oh God."
Do they say which episodes?
Does anyone ever say "oh my God, Becky"?
Yes, tell me.
No, it's "oh my Lord," "my Lord," "oh good Lord," "good Lord," "dear Lord," "thank God," "God no," "Godspeed," "God rest," "for God's rest,"
God,
"for God's sake,"
Becky.
"Jeez,"
Look at
"Madre
her.
de Dios,"
Wow.
"Please God no."
Please God, no. What's happening there?
That one was
Is that the
Batman
episode he meets Harvey
Beyond.
Weinstein?
Oh, he
That's
says,
Batman
he
Beyond.
says, "Oh God, no!" in Mask of the Phantasm when he realizes the Joker was like part of the gangsters.
That killed the woman's
Father.
dad.
No.
It says,
Oh God, no!
"Oh my God" was in a lot of Superman and Batman. But yeah, "my God" was in Batman of Mask of the Phantasm, Batman and Mr. Freeze, Sub-Zero, Superman, The Last Set of Krypton, Batman Beyond, Return of the Joker,
Wow.
Batman, I Am the Night.
More names.
And there's a lot of Superman.
Okay, so Mr. Freeze is like leaping around, like shooting up fire hydrants and then riding the fucking water ice all the way into like windows up on buildings and skyscrapers. He's got such great fucking powers that are visually on screen. The way he has
super
like
strength. It's so
his
awesome.
looks. Yeah, his strength is incredible and he's smart. He's this all perfectly well-rounded
He's
villain.
kind of fucked up where he leaves his henchman to die. You know, he has no heart.
And he's got a sympathetic fucking origin. This is a great villain.
Yeah.
What a turnaround they did. Bruce Timm directed this too? Fucking out of the park.
This was his first directing, and it was written by Paul Dini, who was also really influential on the DC animated universe.
Yeah, but had Paul Dini written an episode yet? Or had he like co-written an episode?
This was his first, it says, on my little...
This is his first?
It was both their first.
So this is Bruce Timm's first episode and Paul Dini's first episode. Wow, they fucking nailed it. And they fucking changed Mr. Freeze in the landscape of comics from this point on. Fucking awesome. This is great. I'm enjoying the fuck out of watching this episode right now.
Yeah, it's good. It's very well directed. Very exciting.
I love it. And he bests Batman in fighting because fucking he's so strong. He's 3 times stronger than Batman.
Oh, is he? I didn't realize he had super strength.
He says
He
that.
says he's 3 times stronger right here. He's like, I am 3 times stronger than you because of the electronics in my suit.
Oh, so it's the suit, not him.
Yeah, it's not him. It's a suit.
where he has to live. That the suit is him now.
Well, not later when he's in prison, right? He doesn't need the suit there. He just needs a cold environment there.
Yeah.
Very true.
Which doesn't really make sense to what's about to happen. Is because Batman like bests him in this really cold fucking like hotel, like convention hall, and like
It was the hot
he's like
suit.
all of a sudden like because of the chicken soup, it's like it breaks the glass. Makes sense because hot water or hot on cold and it shatters glass. But it's cold enough in this room, I would imagine, right? For him not to like freak out. And, like, start-
there's ice there, and Summer's kind of she's a little cold, but like he says sub-zero. It wouldn't be sub-zero.
Summer's nips are probably super on point right now.
I like that Summer pops up in this episode.
I love Summer Gleason. She's so fucking hot.
They just use her for
Hotness.
completely exposition.
She's a hot biscuit.
They need
you
to
know?
they need to utilize her more.
And she needs to get buttered up. Delicious. What's his name? Boyle? Ferris Boyle? That's Mark Hamill, right?
Yeah.
Ferris Boyle. So that's a one-off guy, right? He never comes back. Well, Mr. Freeze will definitely be back, and every time Mr. Freeze comes back, I have to say it's a great episode. I love every Mr. Freeze episode. At least I remember liking them as a child. So this is the scene at the end where the Bruce Timm and Paul Dini said, or once said, like, that, you know, they wish that they could redo it because one of the things they'd like to redo with the animation is have Mr. Freeze's tears become snowflakes. So, episode's over. I fucking love it. Masterpiece. Batman's watching Freeze through the fucking window because Batman's a fucking peeping Tom and he loves getting his rocks off. 5 out of 5
It's
boys.
like, yeah, I put you there. It's kind of sad, you know. Freeze is stuck in the prison and he's all sad and just thinking about his wife and how he wishes she could have warmth. And then Batman's like, yeah, you deserve to be in there, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of bittersweet. It was a bittersweet ending because you don't want to like Mr. Freeze or feel bad for him, but you do after you find out his origin story.
Yeah, he's absolutely a sympathetic villain for sure. For sure.
I wanted to look up Ferris Boyle. Hold on one second. I think that
he returns.
I think, but I might be wrong. No, yeah, it has the only appearance.
So what are your guys' boys? Did you say yours, Steve?
5. 5 out of 5.
I'll also give it 5 out of 5 boys.
Sweet titties.
Great bat stuff, gentlemen. Cool Boy Nation, tune in next week. Same cool bat time. Same cool bat channel. Cool Bat Nation, be sure to let us bat know what you bat thought of Heart of Ice. Or what your favorite bat episode is by bat emailing us at batmanandbeyondcoolboys@gmail.com. New episodes of Batman and Beyond come out every Thursday. Also, please check out our other great Cool Boy Central content with The Cool Boys Podcast on iTunes, SoundCloud, Google Play, and Patreon, where the Cool Boys have an uncensored discussion about 5 so cool movies, everything ranging from bods to dongs and all the boners they have given us. Be sure to follow us on Twitter at Cool Boys Podcast and Facebook group us at The Cool Boys Podcast. Like and subscribe to us on YouTube. You can find us on YouTube by searching for The Cool Boys Podcast. And be sure to rate and review us on iTunes at The Cool Boys Podcast. And if you like, you can donate to us on Patreon and receive additional episodes of Cool Boys After Dark and a Cool Boy shout out on the Cool Boys Podcast that airs every Tuesday. You can find the Cool Boys on Patreon at patreon.com/coolboyspodcast. Thank you for listening. Stay cool, Cool Boy Nation. Until next time, it's Byzies from Felk.
That's Byzies from Ballard.
And Byzies from Steven.
So cool.
Batman
And beyond.
Oh yeah. Batman
and Beyond.
Oh, yeah.